Hey, I'm gonna I'm gonna comment on the Monique appearance on Club Shay Shay and people's opinion about it and her supposed feud with D.L. Hughley because he it may or may not have directed comments towards her husband being a closeted member of the community, the alphabet community and shit. Just to be clear, yeah, I wanna tell you guys what I my opinion about that shit. And what my opinion is that I couldn't give a fuck. Okay, I couldn't give a fuck. Um, Monique is a celebrity. Okay, and she is a celebrity that has done egregious works. Okay, and I'm not talking about her stand-up career or some of the trash that she's done, like I think Soul Plane and some other shit. I'm talking about the fucking Precious movie and shit. Okay, I'm talking about that goddamn movie where she played an abusive mother and shit. I give her kudos for that. Because it rips the band-aid off. But we, in our community, they're never really gonna take a look at that trope of a woman that is omnipresent. And has mafia-like immunity to reproach in any medium. Right? He played one of the most horrific roles that you could play in a fucking movie and shit. And I think she got an Oscar for that shit. And then she was mad as hell while she was getting an Oscar and made like this shitty ass Oscar speech. And I thought it was a non sequitur because she knows what she did in her career to get to that point and shit. So why should she be mad about it? Why don't she just take the fucking award and toddle the fuck off and shit? I have nothing to say. I respect Monique on some level, on a minor level and shit. But like overall, like look at her as like look at other celebrities. She's an employee, and anyone you see on TV or doing anything in the public eye and shit has done something behind closed doors. Okay, that is just the way it works in Hollywood. Hollywood is an at work situationship. Okay, it's a quid pro quo and shit. Everybody's got their face in everybody else's groceries and shit, chomping away and shit because they want fucking tangibles. They want to be a star. Okay, and that shit don't come cheap. And the gatekeepers are disgusting, malfeasant degenerates and shit. Okay, I don't know anything that's clean. They over the fucking years they killed all the independent outlets and shit. And everything's so fucking corporate now. Everything's so in ordered in a way. And that's why you have this homogenized sense of celebrity. The generic. Monique is a fucking original and shit. She's made me chuckle over the years, but I haven't busted up at looking at her comedic routine. And she's feuding with D.L. Hughley, and I don't think shit of him. I have no fucking respect because he's a out and out op. Okay, he's an operative, and as a whole and shit, I feel like this shit is does a disservice to our people and shit as a whole. As a when you look at the whole picture and shit, it reinforces stereotypes that we are gigantic adult children, toddlers and shit, arguing about crap like this. We live in 2024, and I don't care if Monique's husband is closeted and he bent over for Lee Daniels and did some strange shit with Tyler Perry or whatever. One of the reasons I don't, the most substantive reason why I don't give a fuck is because Monique herself came out as a bisexual shit during that last like Netflix special she put on that I don't know who watched it. I didn't watch it and shit. But I watched that segment where, it's just kind of talking about, going both ways and shit. And I just shook my fucking head. I'm like, bitch, why you say that shit? Why you say it? Like in this community, we more concerned about what's going on between the sheets and then what's going on above the fucking sheets. And this shit is an election year, so we're gonna get a whole lot of this nonsense. I don't give a fuck about Shannon Sharp and shit. He has a platform currently and shit. He will be going down for like some of the other black celebrities that's been on there stepping out of line and shit. Okay, gonna be a fapping for Shannon Sharp and shit. You mark my fucking words. And as far as Monique goes, I just can't say shit. You did the movie Precious, okay, and I'm hanging that shit around your neck like an albatross. Nobody, it's been a big deal. Like Snoop Dogg said he didn't want to see no slave movies no more, and a couple other celebrities were saying they were tired of slave movies and crying nigga movies and shit. I'm tired of ghetto shit movies, okay? If there's no accountability in real life and shit, I don't feel like looking at it represented on my television set. And I want to tell you, a lot of the times after the early 90s, when I was shown some kind of hood movie or something, there was somebody of a different race showing it to me or playing it in the house while I was around. They take it personal or nothing. And the chick that, that showed me a hood movie, she got her cheeks clapped and I was out the door shit, you know. And I spent a lot of years in a fog and shit, okay? And it's fucking awake now. And part of the reason I'm awake is because Hollywood can't do its job anymore. They don't want to. They want to just push this nonsense, this chaotic, this mess on everyone. These are not celebrities. These are not people that have decent PR firms behind them or studios or anything that manage their behavior and their character. Nothing's kept out of the eye and shit, except, like if you're a power broker and shit. And as far as, any black power brokers, the billionaires, a couple hundred millionaires, those people are bought and sold 10 times over. They're slaves and shit. They're slaves to their ambition and their fucked up lifestyles and their proclivities that they've cultivated, that's grown up to become a part of them and shit, like rot, because of all the things they had to do to get in those movies, those blockbuster movies. We've seen Monique in a wide variety of projects. We know that she can carry weight dramatically. She can be funny, whatever. She's talented. I'm like, hey, you really didn't have to fuck your career up and shit. You took the job from Lee Daniels and Oprah, and you know they wasn't shit. Oprah to want to be a white woman. She told Barbara Walters she wanted to be fucking white. That she wished she was white. A woman from Mississippi, deep off in that bitch, who's a boomer. She's a fucking boomer. Right? She's old enough to be my mother. And she wanted to be white. She's from Mississippi, the deep south. And think of the things she's done to get where she had to go. And then I got to sit here and look at Monique and shit. And what am I supposed to think as a black person and shit? As a black human being. What am I supposed to think about Monique's bullshit? I'm not giving a fuck. And anybody with common sense is not giving a fuck, because these are just assholes sitting around with nothing to do. So they decided to drum up some clout. Okay? And what better way, to drum up clout than to just, do a staged fight and shit. Do some wrestling type shit. Make a phony, phony feud and shit. I don't care if they hate each other or not. How could you love each other when you both look at each other and you know the shit that goes on behind the door over there in Hollywood and shit? You know what you have to do to be up in that bitch, and y'all keep fucking around and shit, okay? Nobody's just gonna come out and say that they ate somebody's ass behind the door and got crapped on and all this other shit, like we hear with the McMahon stuff. Like, it's weird because they do all the same things. I did a fucking video already where I showed you stills from the Chuck Berry doing fucked up shit. It's always the same shit, putting your face in somebody's ass and all this shit. They do that because that's what they have to do to get these ducats. Okay, that's what they have to get their 3 pieces of silver to keep denigrating black people and turn us into a fucking joke on the world stage and shit. And I just laugh my ass off because it don't mean nothing. None of this shit don't mean nothing. Right? Their celebrity don't mean nothing. Right? It don't mean shit. Right? They just employees doing their jobs. I'm like, when I see this shit, what am I supposed to think? Monique sitting up there, I'm like, hey, your shit is dried up. There's no more sitcoms for you. All you can do is make the talk show circuit and do some stand up and shit. Take your ass down there to the comedy store, some other shit. Go down low. Alright? Go down low. Every Negro that you see on top of something in Hollywood, they had something shoved up in somewhere, or they did something, clapped the cheeks of an old small hat or something, Just weird shit. Okay, I used to live on the West Coast for like a couple of decades, kids and shit, in certain circles and shit, at the very, very lowest and shit. Makes me able to see things that you guys wouldn't want to see, okay? And they had motherfuckers, I don't want to put nobody on blast, but then they had, dudes to offer to make me something and shit, They want me to go somewhere with them by themselves and shit. Or some motherfucker want to go to Vegas with him and his wife. And yeah. And then, it's fucked up because that behavior that you display, even when you're not talking about it, just filters out like a virus and into our little enclave and shit. And then you got motherfuckers doing that shit on. What is the world of game when you got like street niggas doing that kind of shit? Now come up, eating ass and shit. They beta test everything in our community and shit. All this malfeasant behavior and childish, ignorance. They run into our neighborhoods and it spills out into this shit over time because we're the canary in the coal mine. So I don't care when I see children sitting up talking about their beef with each other. I'm like, okay, you two just hug it out, and then you hold hands and walk around. Take a walk around the building like until you get it out of your system and shit, and fuck it, okay? All right. I don't care if you guys are secretly gay. I don't care if your husband got fucked in the ass by Tyler Perry or Lee Daniels or whoever for Oprah with a strap or something. I don't give a shit. You know what you did in your career to get where you got to go. And why do we have to take a journey with you that we didn't ask for, we didn't profit from? Okay? It's just entertainment. All right? It's just fucking entertainment and shit. Get over yourself. Suck it up and shit. You go talk to your motherfucking husband. Why don't you have your husband defend himself? You're supposed to be married to him and you say you're submissive and everything, but you don't let that motherfucker say shit. He don't really say shit. You always do it together. But you didn't do it together when you came out of the closet as a bisexual shit. Okay, doing your little special. You didn't do that. Okay? And I did a video about this bullshit. Alright? No one cares. They Negroes. I'm telling you black people out there that have a weak mind and shit. Like, hey, when you having sex or doing your private stuff and shit, who's there watching you? Who's there watching? Who knows what you're doing? Unless you let somebody into your circle. And that's on you.